Good evening, Blues. How are we? Martin here, mcfcfantv, and welcome to the Friday night social where we get together, we have a little chat, like we're down at the pub before the match, having a little gas all about the football. So, how are you guys? It's Friday. Let's do a few hellos and then we'll get, half the guests in. We're still waiting on a couple of guests. Dupe, evening, mate. Miguero might start. He might. Jack Lee, hello, Blues. How are you, Jack? Mike Perry, good morning, guys, from sunny Perth. Always set me alarm to catch up your show. Keep up the great work. Come on, City. I'm saying 4-0 tomorrow with Howard Bellis to start. So, Charlie, I don't think it will be, if I'm honest with you, mate. I think a few players will get some game time for this one, like see Laporte, Aki maybe back. Yeah, this is where I'm at, Mike Perry. That's why I don't think you'll see him tomorrow. Louis Shakes, Mike, so now we're a brother United fan because he kept going about where are you in the league. Oh, listen, let him go on. Let him go on. But Joe Blue, please take that cranker picture on the screen. I can't, mate. We have to be consistent with the thumbnails. Sorry, buddy. But I understand your hatred. Adam Quinn, hi guys. Sean Foggett says 5-0 from City. How are you, Sean? I'm good. Hope you're good, buddy. Come on, City, says Dupe. Liverpool only beat Aston Villa kids 4-1. I know. You think they won a cup final, wouldn't you, the way they're banging on? Evening, everyone. Hope we're all well. Looking forward to a good Friday night social. I've been sledging today. We've had a lot of snow. I wish we were all sledging away. Where was that, Charlie? Saddleworth. Come on, you Blues, says Alec Johnson. Not going to lie, really dislike early afternoon Sunday kick. I know, they just ruin your day, don't they? Bloody plastic disco here. Let's go, Martin. Manchester M34 in the house. Hello, Ivor. Hope you're wearing clothes, buddy. 12 hours. Have you got your top hat on? 12 hours time difference, right, Mike? Let's have a look. Hi, Martin. Hope you're having a great day. Busy day, mate. Busy day. Evening, everyone. Hello, Leonard. You can leave your hat on. Laporte and Aki not fully fit. Thumbnail is good today. Thank you very much. Nobody's big man. Listen to big man, you lot. You've got your formal suit on. Come on, Blue Boys, son. The amount of snow here is insane, said Blizzard Lee. Dupe, Kurt, it's 8:30 a.m. here in Canada. Well, let's get our first guys on. We're going to talk a little bit about Birmingham in the preview, a little bit about FA Cup, a little bit about Colin Bell, just a touch on Colin Bell because we are going to mention it now. And then we're going to have, well, tell you what, instead of me telling you, let the Ginger Prince tell you.
Hi. How are you, buddy? You all right?
Yeah. Have you got a twin, may I ask? I forgot to ask you that.
A twin? There's not two lucky people in the world like this, mate.
There's a guy, when I go swimming, who looks, he's like the spit of you, mate. He's your twin.
Well, it's probably me then, Martin.
Possibly. Go on then, what we're going to talk tonight?
Well, it's been a hell of a week, hasn't it, really? We started off with the old Ben Mendy issue and the COVID. Then the City team is ravaged by the stuff and no striker, no recognised left back, no Edison, no Walker, no problem, mate, because we go to Stamford Bridge and destroy them, didn't we? Completely and utterly dominated them.
I bet.
And then we went to joint champions-elect Manchester United and destroyed them on their own part.
Stop. They're not champions-elect. They are the champions.
Oh, the champions-elect, yeah. Put them back in their box at the theatre for Cockney Plastics, should I say. And then Sheikh Mansour has saved a national treasure from the looters, but then all been overshadowed by the passing of Manchester City's greatest ever legend, Colin Bell. So the roller coaster, Martin, never stops.
I know. Martin, you called him Ginger Prince. He's supposed to be Princess. We've agreed we're going to be nice to each other today. Hello, Ginger Princess. Oh, Lewis is getting tweaker. Glad to see you, Chris.
Cheers, Cakes.
Ivor, Chris talks to Angels, says they call out his name.
You don't understand that, do you?
Yeah, he's giving me song lyrics at the minute. Martin is KDB. I'm not, listen, I'm not behind the door, mate. Martin is KDB, ginger or not. He said he's blonde in a video. Yeah, a lot of ginger people say that. You kids, only joking. You can tell them that. I'm going to get a comment. You're calling ginger people. I'm not. You can tell from that first part, it's all about the legend Colin Bell. Champions elect. Haha, Chris is pure gold. Right, speaking of a national treasure, here's someone that I'm sure Australia would love to give back in an instant.
I've come closer to you this week. I'm back in Melbourne travel back up from Tassie, so I'm back to the land of the living again. But
you still sound like you're in a goldfish bowl.
I'll give over. I get that every week.
You're right, Al.
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, just fine. Yeah, I'm absolutely fine. I'm back to London, living in Melbourne, preparing for everyone coming back to work on Monday. Well, I'm working from home, I should say.
That's actually true, that, Boopy. Right. Well, tell you what, let's get your sidekick in, shall we?
Oh, is he in? Oh, get that Kagoo, love. Zip it right up to the top. Where's yours, Martin? All right, nice one. All right, he's even got the haircut as well.
Andy's number 5. He comes from Andy. Andy, number 5.
Very nice, Ross.
Yeah.
Don't worry, lads. We're going to get into it at some point. So we're going to have a chat about Chelsea. We might have a chat about United. Because I'm sure we won with a false 9 when 2 people said we don't win games with a false 9 last week. But we'll get into that as we're going along.
Nice.
Second tribute of the night.
Very nice.
Can he not hear me?
Yeah.
I said, are you all right, Ross? You just did a twirl.
I'm great, big man. Yeah. Great to be here, big man.
Can we stop the big man crap? I'm very much. And here he comes. Peaky Blinder rip off.
Now then.
Oh, he's got his flat cap on.
Yeah. I thought you don't like Yorkshire, you.
Yorkshire.
How you doing, guys? You all right?
Yeah, you, Tom?
Yeah, all good, yeah. Happy with the result this week, and obviously it was a sad passing of Colin Bell, but we did what we needed to do on Wednesday night in the derby, and we won it for him, so it was a nice touch.
We did win it for him. Good man. What we're going to do is then, as you can see, we've got a number of topics. We'll try and keep this under 2 hours if we can. There's 5 of us on. We'll try and keep this. We're going to speak one at a time. No one's going to speak over each other. Alan. So we're all going to let each other have a say. Why you got Alan? Oh, just give me a minute. And he's still going 25 minutes later. Dearly me. Tom selling Stella, or is it just me?
I don't know.
So Tom, Chris, Martin, you're all doing good. Yes, we are. Hi guys, hope you're all well. Andy Blue Moon. Someone did ask if there was a watch along. I'm not doing a watch along on Sunday. I don't know whether there will be one. We'll let you know near the time. Andy might be doing one, but there will be a post-game show. Either way, promise you that. But I'm not doing a watch along on Sunday. So yeah, got to have a little bit of family time at the same time. Right, so I'm going to touch on it first. I don't want to go into, we've done it in detail. I don't want to, people are going to think we're just going over it and raking over it. I don't want to do that because you sort of lose the impact if you spend ages on it. But we're going to start a little bit with Colin Bell, because obviously Tom, Alan and Ross have not had chance to have their say on it. And I think it'd be nice if you each just have a couple of minutes to say what they want to say on it. And Ross has actually some interesting photos that we will want to show, because Ross may have an interesting story or two about the King, Colin Bell. But first of all, Tom, that was sad news in the week.
Yeah,
the King
very sad.
has sadly passed away. Your thoughts on it, buddy?
Well, when I first saw the news, it was disappointing. I was sad because obviously being a City fan growing up, knowing how much of a legacy Colin Bell had on City was, it was a sad day for everybody at the club. Not too long ago, as Alan will know, I did go over to one of Alan's friends and pick up a signed Colin Bell plaque. It's got a picture of Colin Bell, a little bit about him, and it's hand signed. Alan won it in a raffle, so he kindly said I could have that. So it means more than ever to me now personally, because the legend's passed away, and he'll always be in everybody's hearts, whoever a Man City fan or any footballing fan's heart, because he was such a good player, and he wasn't Nijinsky, king of the Kipaks, and didn't have a stand named after him for no reason. So it just shows the true legacy he's had on the football club, and he will be missed.
Yeah. Did your dad tell you anything? I don't know. Is your dad old enough to watch Colin Bell? I'm not trying to pry in how old your dad is.
No, he's met him. I know he's definitely met him. I don't know if he's watched him play or not, but he was definitely telling me how he's met him and how much of a nice guy he was, and how much he did for the club when we weren't as big as well. And that's just nice to hear stories of other fans as well. I looked on Blooming Forum, and there was a lot of people sharing their opinions and memories on there. And it's just nice to look at legends that I wasn't obviously fortunate enough to watch and see play. But the legends that we're seeing now as myself, such as Serge and stuff, maybe in years to come, people who didn't manage to see Serge play and stuff like that, it can live on like that too. So it's just nice to, be able to recognise a true City legend that I wasn't allowed to. I didn't see play, but it was so nice to, watch on YouTube. And I know Alan sent me a video of some of the goals Colin scored, and it was just really interesting to watch as a younger fan. Obviously not being fortunate to see stuff like that. So yeah, it was a really nice thing to see and, commemorate. And, it's a sad, obviously week for City fans, but, we move on and we try and win the league and try and win as many trophies for him in the future.
Yeah. Alan?
Yeah, I was really, really sad to hear the news, and obviously I was quite stunned actually when I heard the news that he passed away. I grew up with Colin Bell. Now, 1966 was a great year. I was born, obviously. We won the World Cup, and Colin Bell was signed from Bury in the spring of '66. I was fortunate to see him just before he got injured. When it was at Main Road, I was there that night when Martin Buchan cropped him in the League Cup when we won 4-0. And we didn't really realise how bad the damage was when he got carried off on a stretcher. I remember being at that game. And then 2.5 years later, I was at the game when he came on at half-time against Newcastle, which still reminds me of the 93-20. That was as loud as the roar when he came on that pitch for 5 minutes. He got a standing ovation when he came on. It was an incredible atmosphere when he came on at Main Road. And I grew up with him when I was growing up. On my birthdays, my dad used to take me to the Bell Waldron in Whitefield, where I grew up. And Elm Square in Whitefield, and Colin Bell was regularly walking around, introducing himself and shaking hands with people in the Bell Wardroom. He wasn't the same player when he came back from injury, but I think for the younger fans that didn't really see him play, and it's hard to compare from today's heroes and the standard of football today to the old 60s and 70s. I think if there's any one player that could have adapted and got into the City squad now with the superstars that we've had, even when David Silva was playing, Colin Bell would probably be the only one that would probably get in Pep's squad and get in the team on a regular basis. The nearest probably player you would say that was like him, you would say possibly KDB was very similar type of player, up, down, loads of energy, an athlete, scores goals, gets back to head, defends as well. He was a box-to-box midfield player with loads of energy and he just glided across the ground, a bit like Kevin De Bruyne. I think the one possible player that could have got to that level was Paul Lake, but unfortunately we never saw the best of him because he got injured. But great man, managed to meet him a few times. Met him last time I was over when I was fortunate to have a meal in the executive suite, and he was walking around with Tony Buck. He was a gentleman, so very, very sad loss and a legend forever. And he's the king.
Yeah. Ross, you might have a very interesting story here on the king.
Yeah, so obviously just not old enough to have seen him play, but I grew up like thinking that I had seen him play. So because of my granddad and my dad, I mean, my granddad had actually got bus with Colin Bell to a game that he played in back in the days when players still got on the bus to Main Road when he first started and stuff like that. So I think that's the biggest thing for me, which he continued, even as a fan who never saw him play. He was accessible and he'd always speak to City fans because he believed that the club and the fans were bigger than him. And I don't think there's many modern day footballers that think. He was always grateful that he was a footballer, and he was just a really nice bloke when I met him. And I think for me, the first City video I ever got bought, I'm talking videos archives for the watchers, was Belly and Summerby. That was the very first video I ever got bought. I think 88, my dad bought me that. And pretty much, my dad bought me that video. I wasn't allowed to go and play out until I watched it twice. So that was sort of my upbringing. Everything was City, and it was, let's face it, I grew up and we were rubbish. So I'd rather watch Belly and Summerby than some of the dross that I went and watched live. But that was part of being a City fan. But I think with everything going on back home at the moment, and I'm not even sure if my dad knows about Colin yet, but maybe this is an older generation thing. But growing up, everyone has a favourite player every other season, really, in a younger fan. But I only ever heard my dad say one favourite player, and that was Colin Bell. And I think Alan was just touching on there. My dad says to me that the best player for City since Bell is David Silva, but he's not as good as Colin Bell. So if I look at Silva and think, wow, he's amazing, but he's not as good as Colin Bell. It's pretty hard to get in your head. So that's how good he must have been. And one of the times I met him, I was lucky enough to get this. So Colin signed this picture for me, and I actually got it for my dad's birthday. And last time my dad came to Australia, he actually gave it back to me because he said, you need to give this to your grandson to carry that on. Well, I think my favourite story from a family point of view is I was lucky enough to be in the chairman's lounge, and Colin wasn't actually working that day, but it was my dad's birthday. And I went over and I interrupted his meal and apologised. And I said, is there any chance that you could just come over? And he sat with my dad for an hour and a half that day. And I've never seen my dad just look at someone in awe. You know, a grown man in his 60s, just looking at, like, filling up in his eyes because his hero was there. And my dad was due to retire on the Monday. And Colin Bell said to him, why do you want to do that? He said, well, I've worked all my life and it's time to retire. And he said, I don't think you should do that. So what did my dad do on the Monday? He walked into his boss and HR. He said, I don't want to retire anymore. He said, what's changed? He said, Colin Bell told me not to. So my dad worked another 3 years because Colin Bell told him not to retire. So that was the mark I think he had on my old fella. And that day we sat there, and my dad grew up in the same area as Tommy Booth. So we had Bucky, Boovy and Colin Bell sat on our table for over an hour. It was just an unbelievable experience. In fact, we missed the kickoff because we were sat talking to those guys.
Are these the photos that you've sent?
That was the day, and the photos that I've sent. Yeah, that was the day when.
And you can maybe. There's one. Who's that with Colin Bell? Is that your dad? Or?
That's my dad, yeah. That's my dad.
Yeah. And then there's this one, with Ross. Well, Kimmy looks a lot younger there, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's
Colin Bell or me?
No, you.
Yeah, Yeah, his dad's
And
got more hair than him as well.
and Alan knows my dad, and there's probably a few people watching tonight, but I think you can tell on my dad's face there the expression, just like how proud he is and it's quite a weird feeling to see your dad like that with someone. You know, I remember going down to Platt Lane as a kid and meeting players like, you know, Quinn and Uwe and sort of fit, but I don't think I ever had the feeling or ever will have what my dad had that day with Colin Bell. And I think it's because he's just got this aura around him. I didn't see him play, but it's still like, it's just Colin Bell. It's just, that is, for me, that picture's Man City because he's in it.
Yeah, spot on. And that's the man. That's the thing that he's had. And he will be sadly missed by us all. Some watched him play. Some are lucky enough to watch him play. Some like me, Tom, Ross, Chris. I'm not too sure. I just having to hear stories. You know, we might have met him, but they weren't lucky enough to see him play. But, you know, rest in peace. And Sid did the business on Wednesday night for him. So what we're going to do now, we're going to move on to Sunday. Birmingham City at home, 1:30 kickoff. Aitor Karanka's side are coming to the Etihad. Now, before we go on to talk about the game, what I want to do, I thought it'd be nice to ask you guys, what does the FA Cup mean to you? It's the oldest cup competition in the whole of football. Have you had any good memories? Have you had any bad memories of the FA Cup? You know, I'll go last. I don't mind going last. Chris, any memories of the FA Cup? Good, bad, indifferent? What do you think?
Well, I think the first one that really sticks in my brain was a bad one, which was the 81 one against Spurs. That was a pretty. I was about, I think, 9 or 10. So that isn't obviously what. That's one I don't remember very well. Not happy memories of that. Good ones. Obviously, we got our own back at Spurs 2004, was it? When we come back from a 3-0 down at half time, Joey Barton getting sent off.
John Mackin.
John Mackin with the winner.
Actually, if you remember, Chris, sorry to interrupt, it wasn't the John Mackin show. Can anyone remember the name of the goalkeeper we had in net that night?
Yeah.
Oh,
Harry Anderson, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The man, his one and only game for Manchester City.
Yeah, he had a blind, didn't he?
The most blinding, guys, go and watch it if you can find it on YouTube.
Yeah.
It is the best goalkeeping display. One of them, he does a flip and a roly-poly to get in a front row just to get the ball away from the net. It was, Arnie Harrison was just amazing. Sorry, go on, Chris. I just had to bring that up. Sorry, mate.
Yeah. And obviously the two recent ones where we won against Stoke and at Watford, obviously the ones that really make me happy.
Yeah. Alan, your thoughts on the
worst? The worst game that I went to was the Halifax away in 1980. I was stood in the mud at Halifax Town. We lost 1-0 when Malcolm Allison was the manager of City, and just before he got sacked, and that was probably the worst experience I've ever had as a City fan.
Yeah.
And Halifax were near the bottom of the old fourth division as it used to be in those days, and we got knocked out of the FA Cup. I went to the Spurs game in the FA Cup finals, both of them, including the replay. Well, that wasn't good. But we've had good experiences as well in the FA Cup. The Spurs game, I was there because I was working in London that day, and coming back from 3-0 down with 10 men, an helper off the pitch, Joe Barton sent off, and thinking we're going to get around 5 or 6-0 here. This is going to be embarrassing. And typical Kevin Keegan style, all power forward, no defenders, and we just went for it, and it came off. But the FA Cup, I'm old enough to remember the FA Cup being the number one knockout competition in the world. When the Champions League was the European Cup, and it was a proper competition. Only the winners of the league played in the European Cup, and we had the old UEFA Cup. So winning the FA Cup meant something because UEFA Cup was a big tournament then. to qualify for. So everyone used to sit around the TV on FA Cup final, watch the build up. Everyone watching the players go from the hotel down Wembley Way and all the fans down the side. So no matter who you supported, you always watched the FA Cup final. I was fortunate enough to go to the semi-final a few years ago to see us beat Brighton when I was at home at a wedding. So that brought back some memories. And I was unfortunately at the Wigan game when we got beat 1-0. It was went 12,000 miles to see that, but there we go. And then Mancini got sacked. But there we go. But FA Cup's a brilliant competition. It's just a shame it's been devalued by the Premier League and devalued by European competitions, really.
Yeah. Tom?
Yeah, the FA Cup's quite a special, obviously, competition for me. It was the first time I went down to Wembley, that semi-final against United. And what a special day that was for, obviously, me. Especially, obviously, seeing not as much as you guys, but a lot of rubbish before that point. Being able to go and have a chance to get into a final of a competition was special. It was a feeling that I'd never ever thought of. People at school who used to support, United, Chelsea, Arsenal, all giving me grief, and then, we go and beat them. And I always remember it. It was a chance that we thought, silverware, what's this? You know what I mean? So, but yeah, it was a brilliant day out. I remember when we'd all come out, because there's obviously, like I said a few times, there's a group of us who usually go to the games if we ever go somewhere, and we all went down in my dad's Turan, all of us in the back in that. And I remember us queuing out to get out of the car park, and the Man United team coach came past, and everybody put the windows down in this convoy of City fans, just started giving him grief out of the windows. And I remember seeing Valencia's face, and he just put his head in his hands and just went like this. And I always remember that moment of him and Ferguson just putting their heads in their hands and just being absolutely gutted. So that was also another good moment. The worst moment was probably Wigan. That was a disappointing result. Obviously going down there, it was absolutely peeing it down on the day as well. Before the game, I remember we had to hide under. We sheltered under this random person's porch in their garden, and they were laughing at us because it was absolutely bouncing it down. But yeah, other than that, it was just the result. We didn't really play well, and obviously Mancini got sacked from that. But yeah, usually the result is quite good when we go to Wembley. And in the FA Cup as a competition, I've always liked it, because you get the chance to play different teams, like the chance that we had to go and play Newport a few seasons back, and, other teams get to play other teams like, Spurs against Marine this Sunday. It's like who would have ever thought they'd play against each other. And it's just the magic of the FA Cup, bringing all tiers of English football together. And it's just a nice thing to see.
Yeah. Ross, any were your memories on the great trophy?
I remember growing up as a Blue. I love the cup competition, as I still do, because the cup was the only chance really where you had this dream that City could do something, because it was a one-off game. So I think the FA Cup always had that meaning to it. And I think probably my worst memory of it has got to be the Spurs game at Main Road, because I think I seriously believed that year we were going to win the FA Cup. And just not just the loss, but what happened that day. Probably one of the best FA Cup final goals, FA Cup goals scored, goes unnoticed. Which is a shame, being dragged out of the ground because the people I was with, including my dad, were just disgusted at what was going on. It was like going back to the old days. And yeah, so that was a big. Wigan is obviously up there. I mean, there's loads, isn't there? As a Blue, you've up until, the near history, we didn't do very well. So we got knocked out a lot. A lot of bad memories. But then up there in my, I'm going to say top 3 City games ever is what Tom's just mentioned there, that semi-final. The trip down on the bus, the stop. I mean, we set off for that game at 5 a.m. And there was lads on the coach who'd done 2 bottles of wine before the breakfast stop. It was just an amazing day. It was like everything had just come together that day. The green man and the guy who had the fake FA Cup having pictures, and everyone's like, don't go near it, and we're all having pictures before the game. And it was just an amazing game. The Poznan during the game, the goal, Balotelli, it had absolutely everything, like Zabaleta and the red card and from Scholes, and like it just had absolutely everything. And I think we all walked out of that ground saying whether we're going to win the FA Cup. I just think we were always going to win the FA Cup after that game. I know it wasn't like an amazing final where we smashed them, but that semi-final, just amazing. And I just love the FA Cup, like the start of it, the Abide With Me, the national anthem. You grew up watching that on TV, and to be a part of it is just unbelievable. So still now, and let's face it, guys, I won't mention the name. Forget Europe, forget money. One team devalued the FA Cup. One team started what happened.
Yeah.
So I'll just leave it on that. But for me, FA Cup all the way.
Sure, I mentioned that the other night, didn't I, Chris?
Yeah, mate. For me, the FA Cup is only second to the league. Still, don't give a stuff about Europe. That's just me, but the FA Cup is the second most prestigious trophy we can win, in my eyes.
Tom, I'm going to come to you in a minute, mate. I'm just going to go jump in some comments.
No worries.
Ian Prescott, why don't you get Stephen Company on? We've tried, mate, and we'd love to get Stephen on. I've been having a chat with Stephen recently. He's a good lad, does great work for the club, for the fans, and I'd love to. But he's busy. It's very trouble is we're all doing our own thing, and we're always busy, and it's not as easy just to combine every channel and go, let's do a big gig. I would wish you all could, but we're all that busy doing our own channels at the minute. It's hectic. There's a game every 3 days. That's half the problem at the moment. But I'd love to get a game on. Top guy. I'll tell you my things. Mine are more personal. My worst one was Darlington in the FA Cup. We drew one each with them away. It was a Friday night. It was on Sky. I didn't go to that. I watched it on Sky, and I was like, in the second round. And then we beat them 1-0 back at Main Road. I think Mickey Brown scored. And I was like, Darlington. I'm not, do me a favour here. Beating Darlington 1-0. And Main Road had about 8,000 fans in the ground. So you can imagine Main Road holds 34,000 people. It was a wet, cold night in thinking like November, December, because it was only the second round. It wasn't the third round. City were in League One at the time, or the old now League One. And we was like 8,000 fans. It wasn't great, I'll be honest with you. My best memory was a couple of years back in the quarter-final, Middlesbrough 2-0. Because my lad who's now 10, it was his first ever away game I took him to. And I went with my oldest, with my second eldest lad, and my youngest. And it was his first ever away game. And we scored in like the first 2 minutes. And my lad just started jumping up and down, going, great this, Dad. We're scoring it. And then 5 minutes later, he went, is that it? My lad seemed to think that there was a goal every 30 seconds because we scored like straight from kickoff, and he was thinking it was great. But when you take, a lot of you will know, when you take your kids to the first away game, I know home's special, but away is proper special. Yeah. Tom knows, Alan. When you go away, look at me and Chris, when we got £20 notes thrown at us. Away days are a bit more than days. And just taking my lad to his first away game will be the thing that I'll treasure. It was his face and the journey up there, and Dad, why is it taking so bloody long to get all the way here? Where are we going? But yeah, they're mine. It's just a special, special cup. I did have one. I was going to say the one at the Swamp where we got robbed.
Oh, yeah, that was a bad
26. But hey ho, I always remember Roy Keane having a go at the referee. Why have you had that? And then clapped him 30 seconds later because he gave a penalty. They were like, what?
Yeah. But that run, that middles, because we didn't make it easy for ourselves. Didn't we draw at Notts County away? We had to go through a replay with Notts County. Zeko scored in like the last 5 minutes or so. We didn't actually make it that easy. Did we draw against Leicester as well? I remember that's the only year where I've been to every game because it's before I left.
No, the Middlesbrough run was under Guardiola when we got knocked out in the semis by Arsenal.
Oh, I'm talking about the year, because didn't we play Borough away as well?
Yeah.
Who did we play that year? We had
Definitely played
Leicester,
Notts
Notts
County.
County, United in the semis.
Played Borough.
But it was a game that year when we won it. We actually didn't make it easy for ourselves in the earlier rounds. It was a bit of a typical City run, just snatching it. But yeah, I'm with you, mine. Like the personal memories you hang on to. Remember one? I don't know the year, guys, but we played Coventry, and I think it got postponed twice because of snow. And I remember getting out of school early to go on a Wednesday with a lad called Paul Sharp. And we got there, and I think King Clancy was getting snowballs thrown at him. It was absolutely freezing, and we drew, and it went back to Main Road. And I think they were already playing the next round, and City was still in. Yeah, we were still behind. It was absolutely freezing.
That's when we had that dog awful purple kit, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And Dean Dublin was playing for him up top, and I think Ron Atkinson was the manager. If you don't know who Big Ron is, go and look him up. Talk about a character of football.
We've had a few bad ones against Oldham, haven't we, as well in the FA Cup?
Yeah.
Got beat by them. Tom, did you going to say something before we move on?
Yeah, because I remember obviously the last time we were at Wembley for the final against Watford. I was sat next to a lad. He obviously unfortunately had Down syndrome, and he was speaking to me before the game. Obviously, my cousin's got Down syndrome, so it was nice to see someone else being as enthusiastic as she is. And he was telling me, I said to him, "What do you think the score will be?" And he said 6-0. And I was like, "Really? Do you really think so?" And every single goal that went in, it was obviously one step closer. And he kept like grabbing on my arm. And then when the sixth one went in, he just proper embraced him and gave him a massive hug. And we nearly scored near the end for the 7th. And he stood up and started shouting no because he wanted to make sure he got the score right. And I just remember at the end, he gave me a big hug. And then I said, "You got it right, mate." And then, yeah, just a little moment like that just meant a lot to me, because it made his day that he got the score right. And, we'd won and we could celebrate the trophy together. So that was just a nice little moment. That wasn't expected on the day as well, because, you don't know who you're going to be sat next to. So it was nice to be sat next to someone that was passionate like me and, was enjoying it as well.
Let's all remember as well the Stoke final. Balotelli was man of the match. Folklore, legend forever there. So he absolutely smashed it that day. He was brilliant.
Yeah, remember protest, sackings, relegation, crazy days. Listen, anyone who remembers the 90s, my God, power to you. You had to be a true blue to survive that decade. I'm telling you, we had more.
Very at home, getting beat, and
that was a
I tell you, as a person who was at school at that time, I'm not saying it's any worse than there's probably some others. If as a kid at school during that time, when they were doing what they were doing and we were doing what we were doing, it was absolutely horrific. Studying corridors. We've just bought Andy Cole for $9.5 million. We're like, oh yeah, we're okay. We just won the treble. We won the playoff final. Yeah, it was like Martin said. If you can get through that in school, I think you can do anything in life.
Yeah, absolutely. Top spot on. But going through that defined us City fans. That defined us big time. That made us, when we started winning, it made us appreciate it big time. So it won't last forever. So we just enjoy the ride.
Andy Blue Moon. Also, FA Cup is too small for teams to make a shot because we hope Marine and Chorley do. Have you anyone seen that guy who's put a pound on Marine, Chorley, Stockport, and somebody else? And if they all come in, he wins like 14 grand. He's only put a pound on.
He's lost that.
He's lost it. Right, Sunday, Birmingham City. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through Pep's had his obviously press conference today, and I will go through some very quick highlights of the boss's press conference a little bit. He talks about COVID absences, because obviously we've had Kyle Walker, Gabby Jesus, who were back on Wednesday night on the bench, but obviously Tommy Doyle, Edison, Ferran Torres have all been isolating. But he said Kyle and Gabriel were on the bench. We will see how they react in the training session. Edison, Ferran and Tommy are negative. Maybe they can train for the first time on Friday. Eric Garcia and Cole Palmer are still isolating. So it's good to know Eddie, Ferran and Tommy are negative at the moment. And we'll have to see how fitness-wise they all are. He asked if Aguero was fit. And he said, possibly. Yesterday we trained really well. If he feels good, he's going to play. Then was talking about COVID preparations and has COVID affected anything really. Said it is better to have everyone, but we don't have everyone, so we have to adapt. Adapt and adjust is the best definition. We have 14 or 15 players, but the spirit is incredible and shows us the way we have to live this season and in future seasons. It is just thinking about what we're going to do the next few days, thinking 3 to 4 days before, or thinking the day of the game. Each day can change instantly from the day before. Unfortunately, what we have to do is have an idea. Tomorrow we have a training session and we'll see how many players we have, any new infections, and then make a decision. It is day by day. Talks about the defence improving, a collective or individual. And he said, except the game against Leicester when we were so naive in giving away 3 penalties, the rest of the games from the beginning of the season were really good in terms of how solid we were and how many chances we conceded. But of course, lately the back four have become so solid, and a big thanks to everyone. Foden made an incredible effort with intensity and sprints in the last 2 games, but the back four don't make stupid mistakes, which is what we were doing last year. And then they talks obviously about Aguero, talks about Fernandinho's contract, which doesn't really know. There wasn't really much that came out of that. Talks about Stefan being strong, filled in, he's perfect, dynamic in the group, he listens in training. There wasn't really anything juicy into it, which we really come to expect with a lot of these press conferences. But Chris, Birmingham City at home, Isaac Karanka, what are your initial thoughts on it then?
I think we'll see a much changed team, and rightly so. Hopefully we get some of the lads who've been away for the last few days back on as well. I think it's an ideal opportunity to give them, some. We should beat Birmingham pretty convincingly with whoever we put out, in my opinion.
They're on a bad run at the moment. We're smacked by, beaten at home by Blackburn, beaten at home by Derby, who was struggling.
Yeah.
Let's put on in the last 4 games, we conceded 10 goals.
I don't think they'll be relishing coming to the Etihad, do you?
I didn't realise till now they conceded 10 goals in like 4 games. And 2 of them, in 2 of those games, they conceded 4. Do you not think they're going to stick 10 men behind the ball and hope for extra time?
That's what they'll do. I'm sure of it, mate. They'll stick on 10 men behind the ball. There's loads of Premier League clubs to do that, so, can't see Birmingham do anything different. You've got to be good, though, to withhold, against a City team for 90 minutes, mate. You've got to be proper good team to do that.
Oh, of course you do. Of course you do. Any fear at all from Birmingham? Any worry? Any?
No, the Zulus won't be able to come up, so no fear at all, mate.
Oh, he's going to get us chucked off one day. Alan, Birmingham City. Any worries for you, or is? I don't want to sound, because I'm not one of these. Listen, every game is not a gimme.
We'll lose 3-1.
No.
We'll lose 3-1.
Go on, right.
Thanks for watching, guys. See you later.
There you go. Typical City. There we go. We'll play someone we should beat easily, standing on our head, and we'll lose. And that's just what we do. That is City all over. We know that. We're not going to make it easy. If you think we're going to make it easy, you know what I'm driving. I'm hoping Laporte plays. I'm hoping Sergio gets a start, because we need them to be playing minutes. And we'll have a few changes in the team. I don't think you'll see Howard Bellis. I think he's going to be shipped out on loan this month. I've heard Preston are interested in taking him on for the rest of the season, which will be good for him. I think that needs to happen. But yeah, you know, speaking sense, we'll win, but it'll be hard work. They won't make it easy. He knows those I do. City won't make it easy.
Why are you saying it's going to be hard?
Because they'll stick 10 men behind the ball, they'll frustrate us. If we don't score early, it'll be one of those games where we just can't, we're hitting the brick wall again.
Okay, but they've just had 4 put past them by Derby County. You spent most of the
Mate, they're going to raise the game big time. They're going to come to the Etihad and they are going to raise their game big time, and you know that. If we score early, it'll be an avalanche.
The team you support.
No. I've watched City through the dark days. We all know what they're like.
God's sake.
It'll be a last-minute winner. It'll be a last-minute winner. Sterling will score from 1 yard out, and it'll hit his knee, and it'll hit the bar and go in. And that'll be City all over. So there you go.
Have they taken your shoelaces off you, Alan?
I don't know. No, I'm only joking. We'll win, but I don't think it'll be as easy as people think. Look at him. He's going, don't come on the phone. Don't be so bloody negative.
I'm not. If somebody's watching, he's going to come into the stream in a minute.
He's going to send me. I'm waiting for his text in a minute. Yeah.
Birmingham City, they're on a bit of a bad run. What do you think? Am I being a bit too confident, cocky?
Nah. Guys, gotta be confident in this game. Like, God, if we can't beat Birmingham, we need to pack it up. I'm just a bit funny about the team, because at the moment the team are playing so well together. I'd be tempted not to make that many changes. If I know he's going to do that, but I just think the team playing together at the moment, they're getting that momentum, and they're just playing with. And to be honest, apart from like what I agree with Chris about, you know, it's your opportunity to get like Walker back in the team and give him some minutes. Can we make that many changes? Like, we're still going to have a really strong side. Like, so if he drops Stone, I'm not going to say drop because that's not a fair word. If Stones and Diaz don't play, pretty much embarrassment of riches there. Oh, we can only bring Laporte in. It's like, you know what I mean? It's, who would have thought 3 months ago we'd be talking about Laporte not getting in City's team and getting a run out in the FA Cup? Like, it's beyond thinking. Oh, well, Cancelo's not going to play, but we're going to bring Walker in. Like, KDB's not going to play, so we'll bring Mahrez in. So, you know, it's like embarrassment of riches all over the pitch. I wouldn't play Aguero. I don't think this is. I don't think this is. They're just going to kick him.
Don't talk over each other.
They're just going to kick him. This is not the game to come back from injury. So I'd leave it.
Okay, we'll go into that as we're going along. Tom, your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, just quickly before we get into that, my dad's just sent me a message, and City have released who's being allowed to go to the Carabao Cup final. Over 70s and the people in the top 4 vulnerability, and only people from the Colin Bell stand. So basically, if you're over 70 and have underlying health conditions, you're allowed to go. Anybody else isn't allowed to go to the ground to the game. He's just sent me a thing now. It's released from the club official statement in the past hour. I can read it all if you'd like me to, because he's just sent me it.
Isn't that the opposite of what will happen?
That's exactly. It's anybody, and you're not allowed to go unless you've had the coronavirus jab either. The vaccine.
What? So everyone who's at risk can go, but
unfortunately, it's advised that the proof of inoculation will be impossible to enforce. So the club have decided that tickets will only be allocated to the supporters who fit the government's priority of categories 1, 2, 3, and 4 at the end of February 2021. To ensure full compliance in the stadium, the club have decided to allocate tickets to only supporters who are season ticket holders in the Colin Bell stand. Whilst this may be disappointing to some, this is the only way to ensure that every supporter in the stadium on the day is both over the age of 70 and has an underlying health condition.
Oh, funny. Carry on.
What?
He's trying to be funny, saying you got to be over 70 to be in the Colin Bell stand.
No, that's what he's saying. That is the
I'm in the
ruling.
Colin Bell stand. I'm not 70.
He's
Yeah,
not.
you can't go then.
Yeah, if you've got an underlying health condition, that's what it says.
Tom, where are you reading this from, Tom?
He's just sent me it, my dad now.
There's nothing on the City website. I'm on it
Not on
now.
the website, mate.
He's lining you up.
They're not going to send people with an underlying health condition to the final.
Everyone can go from Mark.
You what, Martin?
Have you been had here by your dad?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think what?
He has. You've been
Your dad winding you up.
I don't know. It might be.
You have been out there.
Proper winding you up.
No, he sent it on our little Man City group chat, and everybody else has responded being angry. So he's obviously got them as well if he has.
He's just going to say,
oh yeah, look.
On the Blooming Forum, we've all been stitched up.
Think about it. It doesn't make sense. Why would you send the most at-risk people to
everyone in the Colin Bell standard over 70? We're bloody not, you cheeky git. That's what I was saying to you.
You're getting there. Getting there, though, mate. Not far away.
No way.
Right,
carry on.
Are you closer, Martin? Are you closer to 70 halfway? Are you over halfway?
He's way over halfway.
Are you close?
No, I'm not actually. Carry on.
Are you older than Fernandinho?
Nope.
Oh, well, he can play for 2 more years then, Martin.
Yeah, a little bit like that. False 9. We'll never win games with false 9. We've just won 2 of them. Anyway, swiftly moving on.
Yeah, so Birmingham City. We haven't played them since 2011, I think it was, after doing the City quiz earlier. Little fact.
Ryan Corrie, your stat man's just been taken over.
Yeah, unlucky. Yep. So yeah, I think it's a game that we can win. That they're 18th in the Championship. That isn't to be hidden. We're far higher up in the leagues than them. We're in good form. We've got some good players. The lads are coming back from the COVID incident, and we've got a fully strength squad just coming off a buzz after beating United in the derby to get to a final. So I can't see why we can't smash these lot 5-0. It's another statement to prove that we're fighting on all 4 fronts still. This quadruple's still alive, Martin, as you like to tell everybody. So if we
I'm looking at this chart and Athletic City stuff. Talk about.
Martin, don't let him get to your head. Just let him
Get back in your box and go back to league wherever you are. Go on, carry on.
Interrupting, we shouldn't talk over each other.
Exactly.
Honestly, some people. But yeah, I think that if we stick a few youngsters out as well, I think we can have a pretty good game. It'd be nice to see a few youngsters. Obviously, we've got Brighton next week, Wednesday. So these games are coming quick and they're coming fast. And injuries at this point, after we're just getting everybody back, is the last thing we need. So we need to try and put people out who aren't going to be at risk. Like Ross said, if we put Aguero out and he gets a niggle, is it really needed? And we have other players to go there. So we'll just see what happens.
But Tom, when is Aguero going to play? He's got to play sometime.
I know. I think Pep said in his press conference that he is going to play, so he's obviously fit. And but I'd like to see him play. But what I'm saying is we can't. The last time he came back, he was out again for another 2 months. So I just hoping that they don't bring him back too early. And I get your point, Alan, because it's like we're so relying on him as our first choice striker, and we don't even know if he's going to be fit or not, which is the problem we have. So I'm hoping he comes back, plays a full 90 minutes, and everything's fine.
Yeah, well, we've got to do this sooner rather than later.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think the last time we played Birmingham in the FA Cup, we won 3-2. I think the GOAT scored about 2001.
Sorry, I got that. Tom, go and find me a long stand.
So yeah, tartan paint. I've got some tartan paint if you need that.
You'll get it in a minute.
I do get it.
No, I mean, I've got to say, maybe I'm being a bit cocky and optimistic. I don't have no worries at all about tomorrow.
No.
Oh, hello. I have no worries about tomorrow. I think there'll be 5 or 6 tomorrow.
How long have you been watching City, Martin?
Sorry, you were saying last week we're not getting in the top 4.
We're not.
We win our games in hand, we're top of the league, mate. So get back to the
Oh, here he goes again with it. If Fernandinho plays, Martin, I think you're right. I think we will win our games in hand.
Well,
Yeah.
we can't win games.
He's got a seat. He's got a seat at Wembley already.
Who has?
Fernandinho.
Hey, but don't forget, like Ross said, you can't win games without strikers.
Yeah, so I've got a point on that. Got a point on that, Martin. So this false 9, is that not just playing a player who's not a forward in a forward position?
Yeah.
So we've been playing with a forward. Well, that's a good. Well, Martin, there's a good point. I've said that Aguero shouldn't play tomorrow because of the physicality of the game. Should the lap play?
No, I think Aguero has to play.
Oh, he'll be.
Otherwise, when do you play him?
Exactly.
I'd play him in the Premier League where you get more protection, because to Alan's point, they're going to be up for it tomorrow, and a lot more let's get go in FA Cup. They let a lot more go, the referees. If I was their manager and Aguero starts tomorrow, I would be telling my 2 centre halves to put one on him early on.
Mm-hmm. He's not wrong. That'll happen.
No, I understand that. But Aguero didn't get 5 minutes at Old Trafford the other night, remember?
Yeah, because we didn't need him against a second-rate team. Why risk him?
Ross, when he's coming back, how else do you get minutes in the legs?
You get minute. Well, he's obviously. I don't think he's right yet. So why throw him in against Birmingham? Just wait one more game?
No.
And I tell you what, it is the final nail. I think, are we all in agreement that if Delap doesn't get any minutes tomorrow, then he's not going to get any minutes all season?
Yeah, but Andy said he's only 17 on the other side of it.
Yeah, but we've still, back to the point of Aguero's not fully fit. Mm-hmm. Jesus has had COVID. He's the only forward at the club. We're playing Birmingham, who you're totally not worried about. They're 18th in the Championship. Is this the game you give him a chance? It is. Factually, it is. If he doesn't, then let's send the lad out on loan.
I'm not going down into the lab argument.
Howard Bellis, another one. Should he play tomorrow?
No, because we've got the problem is you've got, and this is I had this this debate with Andy the other night. I understand the point, and this is why I got a little bit annoyed. I understand what you're saying. I would love a couple of the kids to play tomorrow. I don't think they will. And like I said to Andy, if they don't play tomorrow, that's it. They won't play the rest of the season. Any of them.
Well, that's what I'm just saying, Martin. We agree.
But the trouble is, like Andy says, our squad, we've already got first-team players out who aren't getting games, and they're stuck on £100,000 a week. They're going to have to play. So you've no choice at this point. And unfortunately, this is where we are at with our youngsters. It is a shame, but that's where we're at with them. But when you've got Bernardo Silva sat on a bench, or you've got Mahrez sat on a bench, and then they're bringing a kid ahead of it, what are you doing the next day? You're knocking on the door going, "Excuse me, sunshine. Why are you sticking a kid in ahead of me?" So he's damned if he do, he's damned if he doesn't, really. It is a hard one.
I don't think there's some players who would quite happily not play against Birmingham. I think there's modern day footballers, not just in City squad, who would quite happily sit out a game like Birmingham. A third round FA Cup game against a team that's 18th in the Championship that's going to kick you. That's the it's gone. Players like to rest now. They do like to have a rest. They want to play in the big games. We've got players, like it or not, who won't see this as a big game. I'm with you. I actually don't even think we should change the team that much, apart from the lads who've had COVID. because I want to win the FA Cup. And I would prefer to start with a strong. How many subs can we make tomorrow? Is it 5? I think we can make 5 subs in the FA Cup. Is it 5? Well, let's say it's 5. Why would we not start, get 3-0 up, then throw them all on and give them a rest?
See, this is the part. I mean, Chris, you know this. I had this big debate dinner with Andy the other night. It's a hard one because, like I said, we shouldn't really be throwing Aguero in against Birmingham. But we're in a situation where Aguero's not had any minutes all season hardly, so we have to throw him in. Otherwise, he doesn't get any minutes. So we've no choice.
The days of centre halves kicking centre forwards into Rosette in the first 5 minutes does not happen. It does not happen anymore. And I'm not fit. Aguero needs to start. If he's fit, he needs to start. He needs game time. Birmingham are just going to sit back.
Yeah.
They'll put in some tough challenges, but everybody puts tough challenges in. But there's none of this kicking people around the park. Those days are well and truly over.
Well, I don't know if Tommy Doyle's playing because he's still isolated.
He's not playing.
I don't know. No, it's only Garcia and Palmer who are definitely out. Tommy Doyle's going to have a test.
Yeah,
I think today.
Tomorrow. Carl's got a point. He says, "Why do we expect the kids to play? The Real Madrid or Bayern play kids
In their cup competitions, yes. Easy answer. Didn't Madrid or was it AC the other week? Didn't they play a 16-year-old?
Yeah, they did.
Didn't Maldini make his debut as well this week against Juve?
Well, he says, "Are we a super team or a mid-table team?
Are we a super team? Well, at the moment we're just above mid-table, looking at the table, but
yeah, exactly."
Cheddars, Delap and Sally Howard, Bellis and Dog can play the 4th round against Charlie. Right, let's go round then and choose your teams. Chris, goalkeeper. Is Stefan coming back or does Stefan need to play?
No, Stefan, keep him in.
Alan?
Stefan.
Don't know. Tom, your dad wants to go and copy Chris's top.
What top is it, Chris?
It's a City one. Puma.
All right. There you go. There you go.
They've got 2 of them, haven't they? They've got one with a collar with a button and one sort of outlet one, haven't they?
Yeah.
Sorry, who your goalie is?
Is this a fashion show now?
Yeah, it looks like it, yeah.
Tom's dad was asking about Chrissy's top.
And he answered him in the comments. It was all done and dusted. It was all done and dusted about 10 minutes ago, wasn't it, Chris?
Yeah.
Oh, he's wearing the Peaky Blinders hat and he's acting it, giving it the gangster stuff.
Listen, you were taking the mick out of me on the other live last night. Don't you think I didn't see that after the Man United game when I used to talk about my tractor? I saw that.
Not. How rude.
Come on now, children. Come on.
Just eating a full watermelon. Thank you, no.
Fair play.
Alan, who's your goalie tomorrow?
Stefan.
Tom. Stefan.
Ross.
Stefan.
This is going downhill very quickly.
He looks Scottish now.
Pardon?
He looks Scottish then.
Here we go. Chris, you're back 4.
Fine. Well, I think this is an interesting one because I don't know whether Laporte and Ake are fully fit. Does anybody? I don't know. I've not heard anything. Have you?
Yeah. Same question I've got, Chris, because if they are, that's my 2 cents.
Well, according to Pep, the only ones missing are Cole Palmer and...
That's through COVID, mate. They're the only ones missing through COVID. Those 2 had slight injuries, didn't they? So,
well, surely I think he'd have said something, wouldn't he? I'm hoping. Yeah.
Well, if they're both available, then it'll be Ake and Laporte, Kyle Walker, and I would leave Zinchenko at left back.
Okay. Alan?
Laporte, Aki, Walker, and Mendy.
Laporte, Ake.
Yeah, Walker at right fullback and Mendy at left fullback.
So you're playing Mendy?
Yeah.
We will come on to that at some. We are going to talk about that tonight as well. We are going to talk about Mendy because he's got away with it all week. Tom.
I think it'll be Walker, Stones, Ake, and Mendy. If all fit. Or if one of them's fit, which I highly doubt he is because he's hardly ever fit. And I think we've just wasted 40 million on a complete tool. But yeah.
Who's that?
Ake.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed he's fit for the first time.
I'm not sticking Mendy in the team.
Because he deserves it. He deserves
no, he doesn't deserve to play, Tom. No, he doesn't.
No. He deserves a bit of game time, bearing in mind it's bloody. He deserves to look at, and be put against Birmingham rather than some of the big games. That's what I'm saying. He deserves to be put against one of them.
I'll tell you what he deserves in a bit when we get into it.
Yeah, I know that, Martin, but everybody wants him to leave. I want him to leave. I can't stand the bloke. I think he's a disgrace, but we can't do anything, can we, at the moment? He's a City player, and if we need to play him, we need to play him. We've got nobody else. We've got Zinchenko and an injury prone that can play left back.
Oh, you're saying that with a lot of conviction on the Aki stuff.
I just don't see why we spent 40 million on a guy who's only played about 20 minutes all season.
The lad's got great hair, though. Great.
Yeah, he has. Great hair.
There's a bit of passion behind Tom's comment there, and there's a lot of passion behind that.
That's why we love Tom. Tom is passion.
I am.
Last time he had passion, he had a massive rant about Joe Hart and Edison. When he's doing this every time he's talking.
And the facts are, Alan, we should have never sold that bloke.
No.
Oh God.
In the Imperial, when Joey Hart was getting sold, Ross was ranting, carrying on in the Imperial for weeks about it. I kept singing Joey Hart songs non-stop.
Cheddar said, did Tom just call Aki?
Yeah. A complete tool. It was.
Yeah.
Right, go on then, Ross. Your back line.
So I think this is going to upset you, Martin, but so I'm pretty much the same as Chris. However, so I've got Walker, Laporte, Aki, and Zinchenko, but I've got a sneaky feeling that Stones and Mendy are going to play.
Yeah.
And if Mendy doesn't play and Stones does, I think Aki will play left back. So I'll give you about 3 formations as usual there. But I've just got a feeling that he's going to keep John Stones in the team because I think Stones is thriving off it. I think we need to keep him in because he just looks like. I mean, that when he rinsed Pogba the other night, I was just like,
it's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
So Zinchenko, I think Mendy could play, and I'll probably be controversial when we get onto that later on, Martin. So you'll love that. But yeah, so I'm probably going to go with the back 4 that Chris said: Walker, Laporte, Aki, and Zinchenko. A sneaky feeling that Stones may stay in there.
Sure.
Right, Christopher.
Yes,
Chris,
Martin.
your midfield.
I think Rodri will definitely play. I'd like to see Tom O'Dowell get a game if he's able to. And I'd play Bernardo with him.
Okay, so you've dropped Gundogan, you've dropped KDB.
Oh, drop's a hard word.
It's not dropping, is it? It's about resting players. They've just played 2 very big games, you know.
I read somewhere, I can't remember what someone went, there's no such thing as resting in football, it's dropped.
Well, that's ridiculous.
Well, they do say never change a winning team was an old adage, wasn't it? Never change a winning team.
How you getting dropped? We'd already discussed this many a time that we're playing several games for 3 days.
Oh,
game,
no,
3 days
I
game.
never said I agreed with it.
You have to rest players. You know, you can't keep on expecting to play every 3 days.
I didn't say the quote. Don't come shouting at me.
Well, it's a shitty quote to quote, mate, if you don't mind me saying.
Go and argue. Well, no, you can't argue. It was Brian Clough who said it. To say argue.
Martin, stop interrupting Chris.
Thank you, Alan.
No problem.
That was the golden rule before we came on. No over talking, and that's all he's bloody well done. That's all he's done.
The disrespect.
Terrible.
Come on.
Terrible.
Come on, big man.
And he's Yorkshireist as well.
Chris, take over. Get your reaction. Let's get going.
Right, lads.
What's he talking about now?
Who's your midfield, Al?
Midfield.
Please, go.
Interrupting again.
Thank you, Duque. Martin is the host, though. Thank you very much.
All right. Okay.
He's more of a parasite than a host.
Can I test out a midfield?
Go on.
Plodry, Foden, and Bernardo.
I'm not going to rise to that. Tom.
It's a tough one because obviously we don't know who's fit and who's not. I think Rodri will play because obviously he didn't play on the week in midweek. I think it'll be Rodri. I reckon Ferner will get another game. I think he'll play our nice friend called Mr. Pivot.
Against Birmingham.
Yeah, I think he'll play Rodri and Dino based on the fact that we've got other players that need resting, and I think. I don't know who. Probably Foden. I think he'll probably Phil will get another game, but I think he'll definitely rest Gundogan, and I think he'll definitely rest Kevin as well, because especially Gundogan, in my opinion's vital to our games. He's at the moment. He's absolutely class. I consider him with him, Stones and Kevin. I must say they are the three lads that you want to see on the team sheet first every week at the moment. By far. So, yeah, I think those guys will get it.
Is it good to get his contract if he's fit to play?
I don't know what will happen with Gundogan. I don't think he will. I think he'll sign an extension. No, Leroy.
Leroy.
We're done now. Move on. Go on, Ross.
Well, I've got Rodri, Gundogan and Foden, but if Mendy plays left back, I think Zinchenko might get a shot in midfield.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thanks very much, Kevin De Bruyne is my dad, eh? That's very nice to remember.
In the words
I just want to say live on the channel that I totally disagree with that last comment.
What's that? That Martin's a tool.
And that Aki's a tool. I don't think there's any tools on here or in the team.
Okay. I didn't like to swear, so that's why I used tool.
Right, let's keep on track.
Ice
cream, Van Allen.
Mate, don't worry. That'll conversations later in this week. The ice cream van's coming down the street, and Martin's getting excited again.
Right, go on. Right. So, my team. I haven't done any of mine yet, have I? I think Stefan will play. I think Edison will be safe for Brighton midweek. Walker will play because obviously he needs to get minutes in him. I'm going to say Laporte and Ake. And even though I wouldn't normally, because you're talking two left footers there together. So nobody change it. I'm going to go Laporte, Taylor Howard, Bellis, and Ake at left back.
You said Bellis wouldn't play before.
No, I've just thought about it, and then I just thought he's not going to play Aki and Laporte together at centre half. The two left footers, they will be totally unbalanced all the way across the back line.
I thought Aki was a Protestant.
There's me back line. In the middle three, I'm going Rodri, Bernardo Silva, and Foden. Chris, front three.
Mahrez, and then I'd have Sergio, and then I'm going to have, I think I'm going to have Gabby on the left.
I'd love that.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Don't think it'd happen, but I don't think it'll happen, but I'd love it. You mean James Trafford? I like. Go on, Alan.
Sergio up front, Mahrez on the right-hand side. I'd like to see Jesus, but I don't think it will happen. I'm probably Sterling.
Interesting. You've got Sterling playing.
Yeah. On the left.
We'll come back to this, Kevin De Bruyne, Madane. We'll come back to that question. Tom, your front line, buddy.
I think it'll be Gabby, Aguero, and Mahrez. Because I think Sergio will play.
You're all liking this Gabby on the left now, there, aren't you?
Yes, I think it needs to be done. It needs to be done. We
that's
need to.
That's why he plays for Brazil.
Alan,
Yeah.
You're interrupting, mate. Shut up.
Sorry.
Yeah, I just think that he's the sort of player where I think we could see him play there. Obviously, he's got good skills, he's got good feet, and I reckon that he could play there. Especially, he does link up well with Aguero when they do play with each other. So I think I could see him. I think I could see him playing on the wing pretty well, and it's a good game to test the waters with it. Birmingham. We could possibly be getting goals, so it'd be nice to see Gabby and Serge starting for once.
What's that noise?
With that up, Alec Johnson. We're only playing with each other, mate. I know you're only joking, too. Go on, Ross, front three.
I just saw that last comment. So before I pick my three, I'm just going to change my three based on the last comment. So I'm going to put Sterling in there. So I'm just sick and tired of City fans having a go at him. Just sick of it. They don't know how lucky they are to have a player like Sterling in our team. Sterling is wasteful. Right. Brilliant. I tell you what, he doesn't waste half as many as some of the other players in the team, but they get away with it. I'm just over this Sterling hatred. So my front three is Sterling, and Sterling.
Oh, you and Andy. Who's rubbing?
I don't know.
Alan's got one of his other channels on the other screen, probably.
Alan, have you got your blow up doll here?
No. It's downstairs.
Affectionately known as Dave.
It's not me.
No,
it's Tom. It's Tom's doing it. It's Tom's doing it. He's playing with something.
How was it me?
Tom sat there as quiet as a mouse.
I don't have chance to speak in these, so it can't be me.
It wasn't me. Honestly, it was not me.
Right.
So anyway, back to me front three now. I've calmed down. So I think it's going to be Mahrez, Jesus, and if Torres is okay, I think Torres will start. If not, I think he'll play Silva there. The debate about Jesus on the left, I would just actually like to see Jesus and Aguero up front as a forward too. I think he's done it once. And I just think that could be a great forward partnership. So I'd put another extra one in midfield. But I think it'll be Mahrez, Jesus, and Torres.
He did it at Watford away when we won 6-0, and they were brilliant. I was there that day. Unbelievable they were.
My front three will be Torres, Aguero, and Mahrez. Because Torres, if he's fit, will go straight in to get game time back in him. Aguero's already said if he's fit, he starts. And Mahrez, because I think Mahrez will play.
No, I had him in my starting team. He's our top scorer, mate. Why would you even think about dropping Mahrez?
Yeah, he is our top scorer.
Yeah.
And his first touch is unbelievable.
His second one's not so great. But
Yeah,
anyway.
his second one's a tackle, Chris. But that's
Right. Score predictions then. Tom, we'll start with you, mate.
Well, I got the last weekend's right, so hopefully I go again. I'm going to go 3-1 again.
Oh, so you think we'll concede tomorrow?
Yeah, because I don't think Stones and Diaz will be playing together, so we will concede.
Interesting. Alan.
1 each and we'll go through on penalties.
Put a bet on it, Alan. You never know, mate. You never know.
I have already.
What were the odds?
A lot. No, I think we'll win 2-1. I think we'll win 2-1.
Oh, so a close game then.
Yeah, 2-1. Yeah.
Hi, mate. 4-0 for me, mate. Comfortable. 4-0.
This never happens when Andy's bloody hosting.
Do you know what? He'll ring me up after and give me absolute bollocking, Martin.
4-0. Ross.
4-0.
I was going to go with what Chris said, but to change it up, I'm going to go 5-0.
I hope so.
I'm with you 5 or 6 tomorrow. I think we'll score early. And I think it will be Aguero scores. I think Aguero will bag early. And you know what? I can honestly see Aguero bagging hat trick on Sunday. I can see him coming back with a bang. And I think Mahrez will bag.
Always does.
Yeah. He does tend to. I think Foden will be back. So, yeah, 5-0 and hopefully 6-0, we'll see. But I just think City have got the bit in between their teeth at the moment. And I think, yeah, there'll be too much for Birmingham. Right, let's move on to something a little bit nicer. A little bit of a really good gesture. The City owner, Sheikh Mansour, has done an absolute fantastic gesture. He has forked out £760,000 of his own money to keep the oldest surviving FA Cup in England. It was won by Manchester City in 1904, where City have never had any fans, but there was over 1 million Manchester City supporters out on the street when City won that trophy in 1904. Yeah, believe it or not, City have always had fans. Shock horror. We even had 1 million of them, and at one point we did hold the attendance record for a league game as well. So, yeah, City have no fans. But he has done it, and he's going to give it to the National Football Museum over in Manchester. And it's credited by local historians, and it will be loaned back to the museum. The piece of football silverware, which was won by any Manchester club and is credited with sparking the city's passion for the game, will remain in England after the owner paid out that amount of money. The Football Association used it from 1896 to 1910, and it had previously been housed at the National Football Museum, but was put up for sale by its then owner, West Ham co-owner David Gold. It is considered an item of international historic significance by the Arts Council, and there were fears it could be purchased and taken overseas. But the Blues owner, Sheikh Mansour, stepped in and said, no, it will go back to its rightful spot and it will remain in England, and it's going to be loaned and remained in its rightful home in Manchester. It was won by City 116 years ago with a goal from the famous and great Billy Meredith. Saw them beat Bolton Wanderers 1-0 in the final in at Crystal Palace. Yes, 1904. No, not the football team, the area. They became the first professional football club from Manchester to win a major trophy. Sorry, I will repeat that again for some rags who are listening. They became the first professional football club from Manchester to win a major trophy. Stick that in your pipe and smoke it, rags. Credited by local historians, a spark in the city's huge passion. So, what should we talk about? The fact is City were the first Manchester team to win a trophy? Or do you want to talk about the 1 million fans? Or should we just talk about the really amazing gesture, again, by our awesome...
Martin, I just want to add to your comment about that first team, because actually that game and that win is credited in the history books for establishing football into Manchester's cultural environment, because Manchester was known as a rugby town. And that game, because of the people on the street, because of the win, embodied football into Manchester. So again, we all know we've got no history and no fans. We all agree with that. That is also another thing on top of the first professional team to win that. So just another build on that. Absolute legend. How sad is it that our FA we're going to let that happen? This guy has done more for English football and Manchester as a city than anyone has done. The jobs he's give, no one looks at that. Will this tomorrow in the papers say #ruining football? Because hasn't he actually saved a massive part of football history? But there'll be no credit given. If this was someone with, dare I say it, down the road or Liverpool, any association with them, will there be anything said about him at West Ham getting rid of it? No. It will all be about how has he got it. They'll probably bring up some story that the money's not come from a good source, or why are we spending this money on an FA Cup? Absolutely unbelievable statement that should be recognised throughout the world. As we mentioned before, the #1 cup competition in world football. And he's saved that trophy. And not only has he bought it, he's donated it straight back to the Football Museum so every football fan in the country can see it. Unbelievable.
It won't get mentioned. Like Leo said to me last night, typical City buying the trophies again. Negative, everything he said. They just will not admit to anything.
Well, I don't want to go and let's sort of come off that and let's focus on the positives of it, what we've done. And I understand people, because there has been comments from Liverpool, United and everything else tonight, City buying another trophy. And that's fine. Like I've said, green-eyed monsters and jealousies. People need to know what Sheikh Mansour's done for the community. I literally live, as I've told you so many times, 5 minutes, 8 minutes down the road from the Etihad. And what he's done for that area is outside. I remember that area. It was derelict land. It was derelict. There was nothing there. And he's turned it into an absolute... You go down there, Tom, it's amazing now, isn't it, what it's like down there.
Unreal.
The Sheikh Mansour.
Unreal. You know, I remember seeing it before all that was done, and it just used to be the ground and nothing around it. And then obviously they've done everything around it. And, you know, they're planning on doing even more stuff. I think the plans in the future, once COVID's all gone, to put up another hotel, casino there. I remember there was a plan.
Co-op stadium, some arena.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, they're going to build an arena out there. Yeah, so you know, he's a great man and a great owner. We're so lucky to have him, and I knew what the reaction would be from certain fans, and it doesn't bother me whatsoever, because the fact that that man who's our owner makes me proud, and the fact that he recognised that it was such a big historical trophy in England, and he's managed to keep it in England and not be forgotten about, is also a massive credit to himself. And you know, for everybody, and he's done it not just for us. He's done it for the whole of English football because, like we said earlier, the FA Cup is a cup competition that everybody used to get involved with, and still does. Obviously, not as much because of the money, but everybody used to get involved with it, and it always used to be a family competition that everybody used to like watching. And he's kept that, and it's a bit of history that's been kept, and it just reminds you of how good English football has been in the past and how good it still is. And I'm really glad that we've managed to keep it in the country. And it just so happens that it's our owner that's managed to keep it here. But I'd have said the same thing if it was any owner, because to keep that trophy in England is very important, bearing in mind it's, one of the most iconic British English trophy, around. So I'm very happy that it stayed, and I'm happy that, Sheikh Mansour's managed to keep it here.
Yeah. Chris.
Yes,
Tom's got a point, and this isn't just for City or Manchester.
Oh, no.
This is something for the whole of England, isn't it? To have that national treasure to stay in the country.
Yeah, it's a piece of history, and a bit of football history, English football history, and fair play to the Sheikh. I mean, he's a wonderful, wonderful guy. Unfortunately, there are a lot of deluded rival fans who just cannot.
You mean like this?
Yeah, just a prat. You know what I mean? Just an absolute know nothing prat. I need to slap probably. You know what I mean? But he's probably always in his blooming basement on his laptop. Afraid to come outside. Absolute joke, mate. They are. They wind me up. Those people. Sheikh Mansour's done a wonderful thing for English football history, and if you can't see that, then you 8 pence for a bullet.
All right, let's calm down. We'll be having all sorts written under there.
Well said, Chris.
Man TV send threats out to every rival fan.
No, it's not a threat, Martin. It is not a threat. It's just I can't get people who take this tribalism to another level, and they've probably never been to the club that they've supported ground anyway. They're just hangers on. Just
don't, because you're going to step on what we're going to talk about during the week.
Right,
During
okay.
Monday and Tuesday, we have a big debate going to happen on tribalism and football fans.
But imagine coming onto a City fan channel where we're talking about City, and didn't know City had fans. It's just like,
mate, I don't get it. If they were on in my back garden, I'd shut the curtains. I've got no interest in them whatsoever. I've got no interest. Did you watch the game? No, I didn't. Why would I watch that load of garbage? I'm a City fan. I don't care. Guys, stop coming on. Unless you all love us, you probably just like us because we're actually real people who've actually got a life. To Chris's point. So, welcome, but keep your comments to yourself.
Listen, guys, in all fairness, as Tom and Chris would say, we do encourage, we don't mind rival fans coming on.
No, not at all.
A little bit of banter. We don't mind banter. When you come out with comments like no fans, no history, you need to read a book or learn about stuff. I've just told you, we were the first team in Manchester to win a major trophy. Not Man United, Man City. We had 1 million fans out on the street in 1904. Do your research. No history, no legends. We lost not just the biggest legend of City, we lost one of the biggest legends of English football midweek.
Yeah. And actually, Martin, to be fair, because there are proper football fans out there, the word legend in football and in the world now is bandied around far too easily. Everyone's a legend. This week, a legend did pass away. And my mates who are, what I'm going to say, proper Reds, and everyone on here will know what that means, were just as upset that he'd passed and he played for City because they recognised he was a legend to Manchester and to English football. And there's not a lot of players, actually, who both sets of fans have that respect for, but he was one of them.
I'm going to be honest. I did it the other day when I heard Tommy Docherty had passed away, former Man United manager, and I did say rest because he was a legend for the club. I remember listening to Tommy Docherty as a kid on 104, on Century Radio on the phone-ins on the way back.
Piccadilly Gold.
Yeah, I remember him, and I remember listening to Paddy Crerand and all these United. And they were biased, of course they were biased. But so was Gary Owen, so was, Cheesy, so was everyone else who was City fan. Of course, you're always going to have a little bit of bias towards your club. But there's banter and then there's just sheer out lies. Don't lie. You just accept it for what it is, guys. Accept it for what it is. But anyway.
That's where football changed, because let's have it right. With what happened, without City, there would have only been one club in Manchester. City kept that club going. So just go and have a look at your history.
Chris, anything else you want to say, mate, on the
just on this, on rival fans and slagging off Sheikh Mansour, yeah. Every single fan of any other club in Manchester City would love to have him as their chairman, as their owner. The things he has done for this club, we can't thank him enough. If he went away tomorrow, then we'll be eternally grateful.
It's not just the club what he's done for City. He's done what he's done for the city of Manchester.
Yeah, exactly.
He's developed that area. He's developed towards the northern quarter as well, and he's paying for development within the city itself. So and even my mates who are proper Reds like Ross's mates, they've all said the same thing. You can't argue what he's done for their area and what he's done for the city. You can't.
Right. Well, here's another one.
Don't see the Glazers putting in the money, do they?
He's saying it because he's upset because we've got Pep. He's saying Pep out because he's upset we've got Pep. So at least he's being honest. Right, guys. Okay, then. Alan, the trophy. Yeah.
Well, I just think it's good for English football, personally. But it won't be seen by anybody else, by City fans. Everyone else will call Sheikh for buying trophies, and it will not be mentioned. It will not be put in the press. It will not be done anything apart from fans slagging us off. So it'll be forgotten about tomorrow. Simple as that. Because they will not say nice things about Man City. Simple. So unfortunately, that's the way it is. But it's a good thing of what he's done, and it's in the football museum.
Ross.
Yeah, like I said, I'd go as bigger than that, because, I think anyone who goes on holiday, and I know holidays are a bit, whether you go to Manchester is another thing, but if you're in Manchester as a football fan for the Champions League, for instance, you probably go to the football museum during the day, and you've now got the opportunity to see that trophy. Because the other thing that's happened, he's not just bought it and saved it, he's donated it as well, so it can be on show. There's a lot of people with money for ego reasons who'd buy that and put it in their office or put it in the house, and no one would ever see it again. It's like with art. That's a piece of art, right? It's a beautiful trophy. It's got history with it. It's on with the origins of the games, for English football. And that's recognised globally. It's up there with the World Cup as a recognised trophy. It's not this crappy Champions League Mickey House. It's a proper old school trophy. And I just think it's amazing how every football fan, whether from England, Manchester, or globally, has got an opportunity to go and see that in the football museum. I'm a bit tinged with sadness. Again, I've got to mention that the FA didn't buy it. I'm over the moon that the Sheikh bought it, and I think it's amazing. You're telling me that the FA haven't got 750 grand? They've got so much money. The PFA is another one. It's an absolute joke how much money they've got and what they don't give to footballers. There's enough institutions connected with football in this country where really they're relying on people like Sheikh Mansour. So do they not care about that trophy anymore? And that for me is just a bit of sadness of the way football's going in England, where the FA, the body, the institution, didn't try and buy that. And as for that guy Gold, yeah, I mean, West Ham, you can go and sign him up for Rochdale now because you got 750 grand.
I've got to pay 15 quid to get in now. Wow.
I'm not doing that. Mike, can I borrow your postcode next time I go?
No, mine's not a central Manchester postcode, believe it or not.
Ah, bloody hell. We're both screwed then.
Because actually, Eastlands is not in the centre of Manchester. If you're actually looking at.
But guys, there's another sad thing. You've probably got to pay £15 to get in there because the FA don't fund it.
Hey, and then you'll have to pay to get your picture with that trophy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it's probably to keep it going. I mean, that building won't be cheap to rent and to pay the staff. You've got to realise. I know it's not. It should be free, but they need funding from somewhere, and it should come from the FA or football clubs.
City for Life, looking and going in hard there.
Go on, lad.
City for Life needs to lie down and go and have a sleep, I think. I know who City for Life is. Anyway, swiftly moving on. I know who City for Life is, don't you, Willa? I know who he is. Anyway, Ali Ben Arba was brilliant while he was there. I just think it's an amazing thing. Now, I took my children and my wife to football museum, and it was when it was for free. We were just in town one day, and I just went, you know what? Do you want to go in? Because my son was talking about he'd love to abseil down it, because it's got that vertical. He's like, I'd love to jump down there with a rope. No, he won't. So I took him in, and he loved it. He fell in love with football that day. And funnily enough, it was when Leicester City had won the Premier League, not City. And it was in there, and you could hold it. You had to wear the white gloves and all that, but you could hold it, and it's an amazing place. And I think it's in its rightful spot as well. Probably London would probably have a whinge. They'd like to have it, probably. But,
they won't pay for it, would they? When it originally,
no,
it was
I don't mean the FA. I think London would rather they'd try and get into probably the Natural History Museum down in London if they probably could. But hey, I think it's in its rightful place. I think Sheikh Mansour just done everything that he can. Sheikh Mansour is not just buying a football club. He's bought a community. He's bought everything that he can. He's supported a community. This is what makes me laugh when people say Sheikh Mansour is going to piss off in 3 years.
He's not.
You don't put £1 billion. The old guy has put £1 billion into the city. Well, he's put even more than that into the local community. He's given people food on their table. He's given people houses to live in, a roof over their head. So people need to remember that. And that's what annoys me when people have a dig at him. Because people having a dig at him just quite simply are jealous because he's not taking over their football club.
Yeah.
And the thing is, what makes me laugh? Not one City fan has ever said that we asked for it. It just happened. We know we won the lottery. We know we won the lotto. Thanks very much. But are you all saying if you won the lottery, you've gone, I don't want that. Yeah, have your 30 million back. I don't want it. I'd rather live like I am now. So, sorry.
The bit I don't get, Martin, though, without going down a rabbit hole, is this whole thought from football fans, particularly bigger clubs, that they've never bought anything. Like, there's 2 clubs up there with us now who were breaking transfer records every year when we were signing players for 900. They were signing players for 30 million when before players were going for 1 and 2. And Liverpool fans who were tuning in, you did it in the 70s. You were paying the highest wages in Europe to footballers. It's just a different economy now. But everyone's always spent money.
Yeah. Well, I don't remember Alisson was Alisson 5 million? How much was Van Dijk? 2 million. and how much was the other one? Liverpool bought just a couple of £1 million signings.
I think there was one fact that Trent Alexander-Arnold's the only academy player that's been from Liverpool. The rest of them have actually been bought. So all this team, when they claim that everybody's been, brought from the academy, Trent's the only first team player. Obviously, there's a few more coming through now, like that Curtis Jones and stuff. But he's the only first team player.
And that's the upsetting thing about financial fair play, because if I'm a Rochdale fan and I love my club, and all of a sudden I win billions or I make billions, why shouldn't I be allowed to buy Rochdale and buy whoever I want to get them in the Premier League? That's what doesn't stick with me. We were lucky we got straight in there, but you just it's now football's over. We just managed to get in it. No other club's going to be able to do what we did.
But
For me,
hang on. I've got to put this up. Liverpool is a city built on football the right way. Should be no money like City. We develop players through our academy.
Do you want me to just repeat what I just said again, Matt? Trent Alexander-Arnold. Trent Alexander-Arnold's the only academy player in your whole first team squad.
Yeah, because Mo Salah came out of the academy. Bobby Firmino came out of the academy. Mane came out of the academy.
Yeah. This is
Firmino came out of the academy.
They keep telling us that they're a proper club.
But I'm going to bring you about a super chat. Alex E, thank you very much, buddy. Brilliant owner for such a well-run club. Definitely give you a point on the positive community impact. Thank you. And that's all. And I want to bring in another comment here before we move on to our final topic of the night. West Ham, just admit you bought it all, lads, but your fans deserve it. I've just said, when have we said we haven't? Man United bought it in the 90s and the thousands. Man United was spending $2.5 million on Gary Pallister and Brian, not Brian, who was the other one? Gary Pallister.
Bertels, who failed, record transfer fee. Yeah.
You bought
Chelsea
bought the title. Blackburn Rovers bought the title. The only team who's never actually bought the title is Leicester City. So they're the only ones who actually
they spent 150 million that year.
They threw a lot of money into it, Martin.
They threw a lot of money, 150 million they spent that season. Let's not forget that.
You cannot win the Premier League with no money.
No. Yeah.
That's correct. The truth.
Oh, yeah. They're all coming on tonight.
Here we go. I'm loving this. I'm loving it. Where's Leo? Is he going to come on?
No, he's banned.
Is he banned? Oh, he's banned, is he?
Oh. Anyway, right, guys, listen. Let's not tune this in. Listen, just ignore them. Obviously, I'm going to ignore them. Now, let's move on to our final.
My dad's getting involved as well now. Go on, lad.
I can already see the headline tomorrow.
Come and join us during the week. We're going to have a chat
West
about
Ham fans around asking, hey, you've just got 750 grand, buy us a player.
If any of the City fans in the comments section want these clowns chucking off, just let me know and I'll get rid of them.
Well done, Chris. One click
No.
of a finger.
We're only going to start. We only chuck people off if they get really, really abused.
If they're upsetting my boys out there, mate, they're going.
Yeah. Right, next who you like.
Our final topic of the evening: Benjamin Mendy. Had a little bit. Your dad's well going. Stick your bubbles up there.
God, Dad. As soon as someone gets him started, he won't stop.
You're not setting a good example for your son.
That Charles Joseph, he's gone. I can't be dealing with that idiot. See you, pal. Who's next?
Oh, you don't get entertainment like this on a Friday night. Anywhere else. Right, guys.
By Charlie, not having it.
Charles out of 10 bits, you're a 1. Anyway, right, listen. Benjamin Mendy was a bit of a naughty boy during lockdown. And Pep Guardiola, the media did an absolute job on him. Won't lie. But Pep Guardiola, where we all thought might have had a little bit of a go at him, went the opposite way and defended him. Which did surprise a lot of City fans. Actually, I will be surprised because they said they didn't think he would defend him. Now, Benjamin Mendy has broken a number of rules on a number of occasions. He's not just done it once or twice. He's been to nightclubs till 4 a.m. with a dodgy knee and then not turned up for training the next day. He's done quite a lot. He's not just on one chance, he's on his last 3, 4, 5 chance. And then he does this. Chris, I understand people will say, listen, everyone deserves a chance, never mind. Foden's broke rules, Walker's broke rules twice. Where do you stand with Mendy, and are we being fair? Are we being fair then on not treating Foden and Walker with the same conviction if people want Mendy out?
My issue is not so much with Ben Mendy, right? Mendy hasn't got much credit in the bank for me, whereas Foden and Walker do have some credit. But I was a bit disappointed with Pep's response to it. I think it was a bit of a silly way to go about it. All he had to say was, "It's going to get dealt with in-house. It will be dealt with appropriately." But by sort of defending what his actions were and likening it to what other people are getting up to, it wasn't a very wise way to go about it, I don't think. I mean, that's my opinion. I think Pep dealt with it poorly.
So what would you have done?
What would I do if I was Pep? If I was in Pep's shoes and the press had brought it up, I said that Ben Mendy will be dealt with internally and appropriately.
Okay.
So you don't have to say anything more than that.
What would you do with Mendy
then? For me, Ben Mendy needs to go.
Just on breaking the COVID rules?
No, not on that. I just think he's the most expensive cheerleader, mate, any club's got. That's all he's done really since the first season. Done very little.
Okay. So you've got nothing on this, right? Breaking the COVID rules?
Loads of people breaking COVID rules, Martin. I see it every day.
Yeah. Good point.
Loads of people. I'm not going to castigate Mendy for that. But
I think it's a great point because people are literally, just because he's a millionaire doesn't mean, we can't. Everyone's doing it.
It's
probably why the mess it's in.
But that's it. That's all I want to say on it, mate. I think, Mendy's let himself down, let the club down. He by far not the only one out there. And I think where Mendy went wrong is that he stitched himself up by putting the picture on social media. He didn't need the press to go hounding and chasing him down. He stitched himself up.
Well, that's Mendy's a clown. Sell him, not City playing. Period. Alex A. I like Mendy, but he doesn't take things seriously enough. He genuinely seems to care about the club. I can't see him working his way back into the team. Controversially, Sir Jack Leo Mendy needs a pillock. We need to remember that the media are going over the top. I know he's a naughty boy, but if this was Foden, we wouldn't care. I don't know, Jack Lee, because I went in hard on Foden and said he was a stupid boy when he did what he did in Iceland. Me and Tom, I think it was me and you, wasn't it, Tom, that night? Yeah. We went in hard on Foden that night.
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
and Andy went in hard on Walker. So don't say, we went in hard on Foden, and my feelings on Foden. I love the fella. You need a good striker, lads. We've got one, just can't get him fit, Tim Smith.
True.
Tom, where are you with Mendy? The Pep situation. Did Pep handle it right? Is Mendy's future, where are you at with it all?
Pep sort of, was sticking up for his player. I can see why he's done that, because he didn't want a personal attack on him, but he shouldn't have done. He should have done what Chris had said that it was going to be dealt with behind, within the club, and everything will have been sorted. And then no rumours or anything controversial would have been said, and nothing more would have been said about it, really, other than what Mendy had done was incorrect and wrong in the circumstances that we're in. But by Pep saying, by sticking up for him, it's caused a bit more controversy. I'm going to retract my Ake tool statement from earlier and say that this guy is the tool of the team. It's one of them with Mendy. This season when he's played very well, and he's had a good impact on the squad when he's been playing. But off the pitch, it's letting him down, and that's the problem. Like you said earlier, Martin, not turning up to training and stuff like that. And then you've got the likes of Zinchenko, who played on Wednesday night and had an absolutely brilliant game. He got his chance. He trains hard. He's never in the wrong. You know, you never hear Zinchenko causing problems ever. And he came in on Wednesday night and had a really good game. So I don't see why, number one, he should be playing. I think he might play tomorrow based on the fact that I think we've got other players that need resting. But if we had options, I don't think that he should play again. And I can't see him going for much if we try and sell him. In the end, I think he'll go on a free. But it's the attitude and the passion. I think my dad mentioned it in the comments a bit earlier. Would you have seen Mendy doing the celebration like the lads were doing after the game on Wednesday night? Probably not as passionate as that. You know, they're a team, and I think Mendy sees himself.
You mean the hug? You mean the big hug?
Yes, yeah. I wouldn't see Mendy being part of something like that. And the thing is, when he came, everybody was excited. He obviously had that poor injury. He was the social media, the joking man, but he was playing good football. Now he's just injured, being a joker, and he's not a player that you want at the club, really. You know, we're trying to build a team we're trying to build a legacy now, another legacy with this strong defence, and he comes in, and doesn't always perform, but this season he has. So it's one of them. Do we play him because of the form, or do we keep him out because of the stupidity? It's one of them. But on the Pep front, like Chris said, I completely agree. He should have said that it was going to be dealt with accordingly behind in the club and sorted out like that.
Well, Jack Lee wouldn't actually have a go at him too much. The go would he choose? Because everyone's doing it.
But he's still another person that's causing the problem. It makes no difference whether he's a footballer or not.
I get you.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I think there was a thing on the news the other day. Somebody tonight, somebody got fined £200 each because they went to a reservoir. You know, and something like that. If normal people like that, Premier League footballers get said they want to be treated like normal people, so they should be following the rules as well. Just because they earn 250 grand a week doesn't make them any different. It's a job like anybody else, but they're just good at their game, and that's the only difference. So they should be following the rules, because not only do they want to get everything back to normality, if they stop doing stuff like that, then we're going to get close to getting back to normality too.
Yeah. Guys, keep hitting those likes, and if you are new to the channel, please subscribe. We are on a march to 16k, and we want to try and hit 17k by the end of the season. That would be marvelous. But please hit those likes and show Chris a lot of love. He needs a lot more beer. Come on, guys, give him the likes.
I'm running out.
I've redeemed myself. I think I'm all right now. I think everybody's starting to forgive me because I retracted the Ake statement.
Yeah, Shedder says, yeah. And I don't know why he said I never took the mickey out of you on a tractor the other day.
You did?
Did I?
You did? Yeah, because my dad said the next time we go to Wembley, I'll be driving. Yeah. And then you said, we'll be down the Watford Gap with his tractor.
That's because that's one of the things you did. You were in front of your tractor.
Yes, have you know that you don't drive tractors like that? You drive them like a normal car, Martin.
Aye.
No, not like that, Martin. Not like that, Andy. Alan.
Andy?
Sorry, Andy.
Sorry, Andy.
Yeah, I was apologising to Andy because I just called Alan Andy.
I've not driven many tractors, mate. I do apologise. They're not.
Very nice tractors.
Oh,
Mike, come along to the golf club one time and we can get you on the tractor. That's Andy. Andy. Alan.
Is that Alan? I'm getting bored. Let me speak.
It's Andy. It's Andy in the. He's Andy in the comments.
Guys, it's not often I do this, but I'm going to disagree with something Tom said about the celebration. They wouldn't celebrate with Mendy. Totally disagree with that. Whether you like it or not, I think he's really well liked by the players. One of his best mates plays for the club. So he definitely would have been involved in celebrations. In fact, at Old Trafford, he'd probably lead them. So I'm gonna take a bit of a different slant on the Mendy. So I had a look when you sent through the stuff yesterday, Martin, the agenda and the topics. I had a look, and it's really interesting how the media have reported against Mendy. compared to the other footballers who've done, in my eyes, worse things, i.e., married and they're with other women, drink driving, fighting, strip clubs, etc., etc. The actual report by Martin Samuel, our friend who loves City, about Bernard Mendy was that he had a massive New Year's Eve party. How many people were at that party? There was 6 people. 6 people, including a chef, and 4 of those people lived in the house. Yeah. So there was one over the rule of 6, which was the chef, and then there was 6 people, and 4 of those 6 lived in the house.
Yeah, but he did bring someone up from London.
So he broke the rule by 2 people. That's the facts. I'm not saying it's right, but that's the facts. The picture of the Spurs and West Ham players, I think there's about 20 people just in the picture alone. They just had a party. So Mendy had a massive New Year party, and okay. Now, is he the most intelligent person in the book? And I think City have got to do something here. He's got a chef there, which is probably because he's got to eat in a certain way. And actually, if he wouldn't have had the chef there, there would have been only one person over. Yeah, because the other person he sent away, and that's documented as fact. The other rule break from Mendy in October was again 6 people at his house, and he wasn't actually there. So it was at his house, and they broke the rules, but Mendy wasn't at the house. So
I think what it is, Ross, I think what it is though, in this country, you got to remember this country, we've got one of the highest death rates going.
Yeah,
and
mate.
Ross, I'm not trying to blame Mendy. I think anyone at the minute who is breaking the rules, we're going mad at, because like I said, today alone we've had over 60,000 new cases. There's nearly 1,400 deaths today. It is so spiraled out of control. It's unreal.
But Martin, it's a social country problem, and it's from the top. Yeah. So let's liken it to what happened here yesterday. One person in Brisbane come back with the virus from the UK. Within 2 hours, the Premier of Brisbane shut down the whole of Brisbane on total lockdown for 3 days immediately. In the UK, it's taken a week to do that. And in that week, it's spreading. We had the same, it's the way it's managed at the top. But I've got to be honest, I've had worse pictures on my Facebook of people breaking the rules than any of the footballers that I've seen. And the footballers are getting tested twice a week. And I think that's where Pep, and I think a bit of it got lost in translation. I think Pep was actually trying to make it as a statement of, this is not a football or a Mendy thing. Everyone needs to start practicing properly. Now, I know from speaking to you guys, I'm teaching you to suck eggs here because you're doing the right thing. But as an outsider looking in, and from what I know and from what you tell me, there's a majority of people in the UK who are not doing the right thing. And some of the footballers are in with that. And the difference with the footballers is they're getting tested 3 times a week now. So maybe they think, well, I can have one extra person there because I know when I'm going to have it. But, people are not abiding to the rules and saying people are taking our freedoms and taking our liberties. You lock down, you get rid of it, it's gone, then you can get back to normal. But I do think the way the media is jumping on Mendy, because he is that guy in the limelight, and part of it is he plays for City as well, guys. And that's a massive part. Is he wrong? Yes. I'm not condoning what he's done, but he's way down the pecking order. Jack Grealish, I think he's the worst one, what he did. He's the darling of the media.
Don't you think, though, Ross, it's the idiocy of Ben Mendy to put a picture on social media? It's just ridiculous, mate.
I think, Chris, as well, I don't think he's the brightest button in them. And I think this is for everyone, not just footballers. Yeah, it's not that easy to understand. What's tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4? What can I do? What can't I do? It's just like,
It's not rocket science, Ross. It's not. Everyone knows now. You don't need to be told what to do.
I don't think everyone does know, Alan.
They do.
Obviously,
that's the problem. This is not rocket science.
Let's not turn this into a COVID-19 stream. I want to just try and keep it on because me and Alan have had these passionate rants down the phone at each other about because Alan's opinion is everyone in England's stupid and it's all our own fault. And I don't think it's as simple as that. When you've got Alan's best mate in charge of the country who couldn't run a bath, never mind a country. But listen, that's his choice. Like me, I was told on Monday it is safe to go in schools. Monday afternoon, it was suddenly unsafe. So why have we all gone into school, you prat, for 12 hours, you wally? But it's your best mate in charge of the country. Anyway, I'm going to leave that one there. Sorry, I've got...
There's other things as well about footballers and all this passionate about City. Like, guys, I think anyone these days who thinks that every player for your club loves that club, you're living in a dream world.
Charlie, listen, I think let's just all, because people in the comments, some are getting quite upset at the moment, because I think the problem is, I think around COVID, everyone's got their own personal views. Some are being hit more hard than others. Like one of our subscribers, Ronnie Bieber, we hope your wife well. He's told us that she's in ICU with COVID. So he's going to have a different outlook. Somebody else who's not. My daughter's had COVID, but everyone is dealt differently with this sick virus. Chris has got personal issues going on with things. I have. Tom, every single person has got an individual case with COVID, whether it's someone they know. My thing is with this virus, what makes it worse is 8 months ago, probably in the first lockdown, you hardly knew anyone with COVID. Now, 3 or 4 or 5 people who's had COVID or had something to do with it. And it's now affected people more personally than others. And I think it's not defending Mendy. I think some are going to defend Mendy because he's Man City. I think where Ross is coming from, and Matt Brown, I think Ross is coming from the media standpoint of Lanzina, Lo Celso, and all them got away, weren't chastised half as much as Mendy was.
No, but Martin, this is the point, isn't it? Is the way Pep dealt with it has made it explode. And I'm sorry about that.
Said, though, he will defend every single one of his players.
Right, okay, right. So I drove home on Derby day in the week, got in the car just before 7 o'clock, and TalkSport are talking about the Derby. It's from 7 o'clock to 8. They're talking the preview, and they do the first 15-minute section on Manchester United, how well they're playing, players are in form, blah, 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 right? Have a break, they come back. And now we're going to talk about Manchester City. And at that point, they make the breaking news about Colin, right? And within seconds, Mark Saggers, right, is slagging off City, or Pep especially, about how he's dealt with it. And they didn't talk about the team selection. But by the time I got out of the car, which was at about 20 to 8, they hadn't mentioned anything about City's lineup. They were slagging off Ben Mendy and really were having a go at Pep for not taking the right stance with it. That's where Pep's gone wrong with it. He has brought that kind of, and the media, you only have to give him a tiny little bone, mate, and they jump on it. And he didn't need to do that. All he had to say from the question was, the club will deal with it. That's all he had to say.
Chris, I think Pep was actually, and I think he's shown it again in a further interview, I think he was trying to be too clever.
Yeah.
I think he was actually trying to deliver a message that just didn't. I mean, they asked him as he got his mojo back, and he said, "Who's that?" So things get lost in these.
I think what it is, Ross. Sorry to interrupt. I think Pep's. Don't know if anyone agrees. Tom, Alan. I think Pep has learned how to play this media now. Pep knows the media don't like us anymore, and I think Pep's learned because some of his comments He knows what he's doing. He knew exactly what he meant by, you got your mojo back.
Who?
You know what that was from Pep? That was, well, you're just trying to be a clever dick to say that City had been crap for a long time. So you're going to go, oh, you got your mojo back. So Pep went, who's he? Pep for me is playing the media at the minute. Pep, you know what vultures they are. So Pep's going, you know what? I'll play you like your own game. You want to be a dick with us? I'll be 10 times a dick back right to you lot. Go on, Alan.
All this comes back to City in general, the whole of the Manchester City group, and now do not tell the press anything, and it's all to do with the so-called ban, the so-called charge against us. They've learned to say absolutely nothing to any of them because they don't trust them. They do not trust them. And as far as Pep is concerned about Mendy, I just think that Mendy's not. He's not intelligent. He's obviously a very liked person in the club with the players, and they love him, and they do because he plays the clown type routine. But the players do like him. But Pep will never ever slag anybody off at the club to the press. He will not do it. He wants like his own team when they play badly. So it didn't surprise me in any way.
Sorry, Alan, I'm just having a moment. But comment of the night. Well done to Leonard. Thank you very much, mate. Gold star, comment of the night. Thank you very much. And on that note, I hope you have a lovely, lovely weekend, guys. Thank you.
Forget all the ones that say totally agree with Chris. Rossi's spot on. Alan, agree with you.
Charlie Everett.
Tom,
Excuse me. Charlie, you live near me, sunshine. Don't make me come and find you. We'll have words.
It's an interesting one, though, isn't it? I think it goes on. Forget the COVID, because I think everyone on here I know is affected.
I don't want to go down the COVID.
Yeah, so forget COVID. But there's this interesting thing about kids look up to footballers, and footballers should be a role model and things like that. And what you got to remember is some of these footballers are 18 and 19-year-olds that have just been given 100 grand a week. And
we're moving on, mate. We are going to move on.
Should they be role models? I mean, there's probably a lot other people who are better role models for kids than footballers.
Yes.
Listen, Doopy, Martin get gassed up when one person raves about him. It's usually my alter ego. Because nobody else does.
Oh, do pays more for me, mate.
We love you, Martin. We do. Oh, thank you, Will McDonald. Thank you so much. Oh, God, everyone's Prime Minister tonight. You're all having a go. Sorry, Alan, you're the only one who's not Prime Minister tonight.
Sean's been a very big contributor on this channel, so I take that as a very big compliment.
Andy, wants to know, Ross, how was your father?
Yeah, unfortunately, no change, guys. But yeah, so no one can go and see him because of the situation, like we've just been talking about, how it all affects us. So hopefully he'll be able to watch this back when he's better. But thanks for asking, Andy.
Let's win the Premier League and shove it up theirs.
Who's?
Anthony Almer, I'm not going down there. Guys, has anyone got anything they want to say before we wrap up like a Christmas present?
What? No.
Before we wrap up like a late Christmas present. Oh, come on.
No.
It'd be just nice, wouldn't it? It'd be nice if Aguero does play tomorrow. It'd be nice to see him bag.
Right, when Ross says tomorrow, before everyone puts in the comment, it's Sunday. Ross is already in Saturday. He's 12 hours ahead of us.
We're in the future, and it was 4-0.
Get a bet on. So Charlie, Ross and Sir Alan are 12 hours in front. So when they say tomorrow, they mean Sunday for them. Yeah. They're already on Saturday. Well,
it's tomorrow for us as well.
They're now on today. We're on tomorrow. No, tomorrow. Oh,
we're giving you tomorrow's news today.
Yeah. Do you want me,
I'm giving myself a bloody headache.
Martin, do you want the lottery numbers?
I could do with 20. Go on then. Hey, Chris, anything you want to say before we wrap up?
No, really. The only thing I'm going to say is that I just want to add one thing about Colin Bell, really. And that is a man, right, is judged by his deeds, right? And that a good reputation never dies. Colin Bell live on forever.
Yeah.
You know
Drink to Colin the King, the King, the King. He's the leader of Man City. But
I can't really end that on anything else. I think those words from Chris were quite poignant. Yeah, it's been a sad week, but it's been a good week. Manchester City are finally back after a week, and it isn't just because we won 2 games. You know, the jokes have City got the mojo back. Yeah, they have. We didn't just beat Chelsea, we battered them. We didn't just beat Man United, we battered them. Now, if it was typical City, we'd go and get beat tomorrow, Sunday. Well, no, tomorrow, because it's Saturday now, past midnight. I was right.
Never mind.
But yeah, and that's why I'm confident on what we'll win. And I am confident and I'm enjoying it. And let's see what happens. But for me, what a week. What a week. City are back. Onwards and upwards. 3 games, 3 home games coming up. Start Brighton midweek. Then we've got Crystal Palace at the weekend after that. And then we've got Aston Villa midweek as well. Remember, there is no watch along from me on Sunday. I am going to spend some family time, so I won't be here. Andy might do a watch along, he's not sure. But I promise you, I will be back late Sunday afternoon or early Sunday evening with a post-match. And I might even have 1 or 2 of these Buffons back with us. You never know. It might be Flat Cap Tom. It might be the Ginger Prince. It might be Lowell Aladia. Or it might be someone new. We don't know. Guys, I want to say a big thank you to Tom for coming on.
Thank you. Yep, it's been good to be on. And yeah, thank you to everybody who's stayed up late and kept watching us. Yeah, so appreciate it.
Big thank you to Chris.
Cheers, Martin. Take care, mate.
A big thank you to Ross.
Cheers, guys. I think we're a few weeks away for giving someone a massive hiding, like a big scoreline. So stay safe.
That's by Ross. We'll never be the boss. Sir Alan, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having us. Stay safe, Manchester. Do the right things, guys.
And Yorkshire.
Manchester, cool.
No.
Peace out. What was that? Like some 60s rock out that.
What about Yorkshire?
What about Yorkshire?
They don't count. They don't count.
Just remember, before we got put into this lockdown, Alan, we were still in tier 3. So technically, you should be saying we should be taking care as well because we were in a state of emergency too.
Hey, how do you feel for the Isle of Man? And the
brilliant.
They were in tier 1 and suddenly went straight to tier 4. They dropped.
You'd be gutted, wouldn't you? You weren't able to see the one neighbour on the whole island.
It's a mess. Guys, thank you. I'm just going to bring up the last one. Still doing the outro, yeah. City.
Always.
Thanks, everyone. Andy Blue Moon, thank you, guys. Stay safe. Top-notch lads. Best wishes to your dad, Ross. Thanks, guys. Great stream. Guys, if you are new, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that like button. Come on, Chris needs that Moretti Bear. He does need it. Come on, get it into him. Guys, stay safe. Look after each other. We might be in lockdown, but here at Man City Man TV, we will keep you smiling. I promise you. I may be back tomorrow night with a FIFA special. Man City.
Another defeat. Another defeat.
Martin, I think you can get a win, mate. I'm backing you.
Thank you very much. Can City get their way to the Champions League final and
Course.
turn around a 2-0 deficit to Atletico Madrid?
Martin, anything's possible, and with you in the hands of that PlayStation controller, I think we'll get the win.
Good man, Tom. Yes, Ginger Prince.
I think people should know, Martin, what you said to me yesterday.
Go on, oh no!
Oh no!
Oh God, get him on! You need to know this. Come on.
I was joking with him and said I was going to play myself to the final before then play it live.
Oh God. Well, Chris, what did he say?
He said he's going to cheat his way into the Champions League final. That's what he said. He's going to cheat to get there.
We are Man City. We do cheat.
He needs. We want to see him get sacked.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant.
I'm not going to do. I won't do. I promise, Sean, I'll show you tomorrow. I'm not going to cheat.
We should have a special. We should have a special discussion if you get sacked, mate.
Guys, thank you. Come and join us tomorrow. I'll do some at FIFA wise, and then But guys, stay safe. Look after each other, and stay blue. Stay safe, and as always, up the Blues. Take care, guys.